It has been a while since I've done a video in English, and so I'm here in another country, in another place of the world, and I'm just settling down. And I've been studying and attending workshops, a webinar, and studying compassionate inquiry. And this talk is inspired by a few of my teachers that I follow and mentors, who are Gabor Mate, Linda Tai, and recently I have encountered this website, this expert on grief, called David Kessel, and I'll put down his contact website in the description, so that you can have a look if you need. And so today's topic is related with grief, and it's about pregnancy losses, which involve abortion, miscarriage, stillbirth, and also neonatal death. So we talk about perinatal death or perinatal loss. And so I have few points that I want to share with you. And this is inspired, it comes from my experience as a woman and as a midwife, and inspired by my mentors, teachers, and by my trainings and studies. And I just want to say that there are different phases when we talk about pregnancy losses, pregnancy or perinatal loss. For sure that involves choosing the best options for you, choosing the modality, the way to give birth or to go through the abortion or the miscarriages, and this depends on you, so it's your choice, of course. But for me, this is also a way, something that our society pushes us to, okay, this is your choices, you need to take care of. But yes, it's my choice, but it doesn't mean that I have to choose by myself alone. So when this tragic moment, painful moment happen, I think it's really important that you are not alone. You are supported. And this point for me is really important, and it links with other things that I'm going to talk about, which is let your grief be supported by the community. Because sometimes the pain is unbearable and is really hard to go through the process. But by being and having other people around us, the pain, it's lighter, can be lighter. So let's start a little bit from the beginning. So I share with you about the modality and choices that you have to make to, I would say, what's the best thing for you? I would invite you to write everything that you need, anything that you want in that process. Starting from the procedures, and if you want a procedure or not. Sometimes there is a lot of, pressure on get rid of emotions, get rid of the event, get rid of the moment. And it's really important that you are honored and respected with what you want. So if you want to go through the procedures because it's better for you, go through the procedures. If you want to do it at your own term and time, make sure that you have a professional or a doula, whoever you need and want, that help you, that support you in that process. And that's very important, because I heard many times the words, the typical standard words, or you will have soon another baby, don't worry, you will go through that in few months time, and all this, that it's very painful to hear. And so make sure that you have really people around you that support you, so that if you want to scream and cry, you have people that hold the space for you. And if you want to be in silence, that you have that. And if you want to wait to take a decision, that you have time to wait. So it's really important to honor all the phases and all the stages. And the phases and the stages can come with different emotions. With the numbness, with the anger, with the non-acceptance, with the pain, and then with acceptance. So, and it's up and down. There is no like step. It can be mixed. It can be all together. It can be first acceptance and then anger again, the pain, and that's okay. And one of the reasons I chose to talk about this is because we don't talk it enough. We don't talk enough about this topic. And we perpetuate the idea that there is something wrong in us women, that there's something wrong in the body. And so I want to share this video, my experience, my study, my training, because it's really important that we start believing differently. We start believing that this is part of our life, that death is part of our life, that choice is part of our life. And society wants to get rid of all of that. And professionals are not ready, most of them, to support you or to sit with you with that feelings and to hold your hands, because this is what you might need. But our university, even my own experience, nobody have never taught me how to help and support women that go through that process. I have seen many losses when I worked traveling the world as a midwife. I worked for a long time in Africa, in Afghanistan, and I've seen many pregnancy losses there for many reasons that I don't know most of the reason, and many birth anomalies, many birth defects, and so the first time it was very intense for me, because I didn't know how to support the woman in front of me. And I've learned that in some culture, death is part of life, of the process. One of the things that always amazed me is that in many cultures in Africa, that is pretty acceptable. It doesn't mean that there is no pain. I couldn't believe that I was so different, that our culture and society is so different. And I witnessed the two extreme. I witnessed a culture that they were in pain, but that they knew that the death is part of life. And I witnessed other culture where they were doing everything possible, every single exams, lab test, a very expensive investigation to try to look for the cause. And that made me always think that our society doesn't accept death. And I also talked about that in one of my videos. Yeah, so this I just want to emphasize this because it's important that you are supported in every phases and stages and emotions, and you have the right support and the right professional. If you don't have, then you can change it. You can change clinic, hospital, professionals. You can stay home. So it's really up to you. And that needs to be respected because it's important that you are honored. So going through the process and feeling that pain and the sadness and the grief, it's the only way to go through that. Because if we avoid it, that pain will kick our ass later in life. And so it's very important that you are supported. It's very important the role of the community. Because the role of the community and the people around you, they are there to lighten your sorrow and your pain and your grief. Because together we can do that. Few weeks ago, I was in a Tamascal, in a sweat lodge, and this is a Mexican ritual to purify, and it was done during the 31st night, so it was dedicated to grief and to all the people, ancestors, and people that died in our life, and or our families members as well. And we were there all together praying, holding hands, and everybody was sharing the story of our loved ones who passed. And we were feeling that pain, that sadness and the grief, but we were all together holding hands, and that pain became lighter. And for me, it was really transformed in gratitude that I had people around me that supported me. The pain was shared. We talk a lot about closing the bond or closure after birth even, or a pregnancy loss. And of course, there are tools that can be used. But it made me reflect a little bit because I believe that there will never be a closure, that this is part of our life. This loss and the grief will be on us forever. And it's there to be honored, and it's there to be loved, because love doesn't finish with death. Love is always there. Take time to go through all the phases, take time to do your rituals and use your tools when you need it. There are different tools that you might use after the pregnancy loss to recover physically, emotionally, mentally, but use it when you feel ready. As I say, there is closing the bonds. There are self-care rituals that you can do, like have a bath, have a herbal bath, have a massage, book a holiday. There are herbs and tincture that you can use. There are certain movement, yoga, breath and meditation, many tools available. But take your time, don't rush into your healing journey. So there is also another way, another tool, which is telling your story. And you are welcome here if you want to tell your story. This is a channel for stories. But you can tell your story to a friend, to a family, to your community. You can write your story. And so in this video, we talk about the different phases and stages that you can go through in a pregnancy loss and choices to make, and the importance of not being alone when you make a choice, the importance of being with a community, with a family, with friends that really support you, hold space where you are at. The importance of not getting rid of the faces and the emotions. The importance of going through the process to feel the pain and the grief and the sadness or any emotion with the help of the community. And the importance of being supported by professionals or doula or educator or whoever is there present for you that can support you how you need and in what you need, or any other organization that might give you extra support. And we also talked about tools that might be helpful, and to use it when you need and when you are ready. And so now I want to close this episode with breathing together. And I put my hands on my heart. And for those of you who are experiencing a pregnancy loss, or you have experienced in the past, through my hand, through the ether, I just want to send you so much love and healing, and telling you that you are not together in this.